Chelsea reject an offer of over £50 million for Willian by Barcelona, as we're demanding nothing short of £70 million. Why Chelsea shouldn't sell him or anyone before finding a replacement, plus fees agreed with Roma and Juventus for Alisson and Higuain. To find out about all of that and more in detail, make sure you watch all of today's transfer show. Hello there guys and welcome back to 100% Chelsea for another episode of the Transfer Show. And this is the show where we'll give you all the latest news surrounding Chelsea Football Club, whether that is about the new manager or any players, coming in or going out, all of that. And if you don't want to miss out on any of that, do make sure you subscribe to 100% Chelsea if you haven't already. And also don't forget to click the notification bell button and choose to be notified about all uploads, just so you make sure that you, really see all of the videos that we do upload. And also let's see whether we can hit 500 likes on this video. We would massively appreciate it, so make sure you drop a like down below. Like I said, it really helps us out a lot, and we just massively appreciate it. But now let's get into the video, and reports are saying that Chelsea have agreed fees with both Roma and Juventus for Alisson Becker and Gonzalo Higuain respectively. 73 million euros including bonuses for Alisson and around 60 million euros for Gonzalo Higuain. Now just a few hours before the whole story about the fee being agreed with Roma over Alisson came out, Alisson's agent said that the player wouldn't go anywhere before the end of the World Cup. Of course, a fee between Chelsea and Roma can still be agreed, and then after the World Cup, personal terms between Chelsea and the player could be sorted out after the World Cup. And if all of that is true, Chelsea are doing a good job preparing everything to strike for Alisson. The second Courtois says he won't sign a new deal once the club do sit down with him after the World Cup, which could happen and could not happen. That really mainly depends on if Real Madrid really want him or not. We've spoken about Alisson before. My thoughts on him. I think he's good, a very good keeper. I'm not sure if he's on the level of Courtois just yet, but he's definitely not far off. And Alisson, though, is more of a traditional goalkeeper, not like Courtois, De Gea, Ter Stegen. All of those three came on the scene massively, at a very young age, compared to what it used to be like for goalkeepers. And Alisson, he is born in the same year as Courtois in 1992. Alisson is still 25, while Courtois just turned 26 in May, but they're both born in the same year. But Alisson only came to Europe, to Roma 2 years ago, and has obviously made ways for himself since, but obviously came on the scene much later than, like I said, the likes of Courtois, De Gea, Ter Stegen. So more in a traditional way. That's why I say more traditional. Because, until a few years back, most keepers became world-class at an older age, but obviously continue to play for longer as it's physically less demanding than playing outfield. Obviously, that doesn't go for every single goalkeeper out there, but, goalkeepers usually were a bit more likely to start, coming on the scene big as world-class and as, very good generally at their older age, because goalkeepers, I suppose, maybe can do with more experience than, outfield players. Maybe it's more required. I'm not a goalkeeper myself, so it's difficult to judge, but obviously it is a bit more traditional in that sense. But you also know my thoughts about Higuain. Obviously, like I said, the reported fee lies around 60 million euros, but I'll keep it short. I don't want him. End of. I don't want Gonzalo Higuain at Chelsea, and I hope it's not true that we have agreed a fee. But he's obviously been knocked out of the World Cup already with Argentina, and it is said that his signature will be announced as soon as Maurizio Sarri is announced as the new manager. So we'll just have to wait and see if any of those two stories are true. I wouldn't mind Alisson, especially obviously if Courtois leaves or if he refuses to sign a new deal. And, we managed to get, some good money for him, obviously by selling him, because we don't want to wait for his contract to run out next summer, do we now? Definitely don't want to do that. If you then get Alisson, I'm good with that. He's a very good goalkeeper. That'd be fine. But Higuain, like I said, if Morata is, fine to stay, like obviously, Lewis spoke about in the weekend, then I'd much rather keep Morata than sign Higuain, especially for 60 million euros, because for a 31-year-old, is he? I think he's 31. That's a lot of money. Like 60 million euros for a 31-year-old. Are you mad? Like I said, we'll just have to wait and see if those stories are true, but that's what today's reports are saying anyway. And, let's just move on to the next story. And, of course, on the weekend, Lewis spoke about the story that Chelsea rejected a £50 million offer for Willian by Barcelona. It has since come out, then, that Chelsea have rejected an offer for Willian of more than £50 million. Now, whether that is the same offer and the reported fee has changed, or whether that was a second offer that we turned down, I don't know. But it is also said that Chelsea won't accept anything short of £70 million for Willian services, which I find a bit crazy, but fair enough. And obviously there have been constant reports about Man United being interested in Willian, and obviously our interested in Martial as well. So for obvious reasons, the whole idea of a swap, deal for those two players has been talked about a lot as well. And obviously, two big clubs being interested in Barcelona and Manchester United, if we do believe those stories, can obviously only help, Chelsea in that case if we are willing to sell, which we reportedly are willing to do for the right offer. And obviously, two big clubs starting a bidding war in the best case scenario can only bring his price up and obviously increase the fee that we might end up selling Willian for. But now speaking about this, and first of all, if we actually manage to get £70 million for Willian, Marina Granovskaya is the biggest genius in football. Like, that is actually mad. I mean, I like Willian. I think a lot of people are very harsh on him, but £70 million for an almost 30-year-old? Now that is mad. Or also, if we manage to get Martial in a straight swap without any extra cash from our side, that would also be mad. Although, I don't want to sell to rivals anymore, so I wouldn't really support that deal all too much. Even if we get a young and arguably better player instead, and, you know, in theory, that swap deal isn't anything bad for Chelsea. But there is a reason Jose Mourinho wants Willian. And there's a reason Willian wouldn't mind rejoining Jose Mourinho at Manchester United. They have worked together, you know, very well at Chelsea, especially when things didn't go well at all. Willian was arguably the only player that really performed still. And, you know, Willian is the type of winger that Mourinho likes a lot. And to me, we have to put a stop to selling, you know, players to rivals. Like, we have to put a stop to that. Because if we do put a stop to that, that will put rivals off even trying to sign players from us and even from approaching our players, which, you know, then doesn't even let it come to, you know, to the stage of where they might have convinced the player that they want to leave Chelsea to join that, you know, rival. At which stage we don't even have much choice but letting him go, like it seemed to have happened with Nemanja Matic, for example. We need to put a stop to that, in my opinion. We can't be having that anymore. We really missed Matic last season, and he really helped Manchester United a lot in coming second, at least. So, to me, we need to put a stop to that. I know that Willian is almost 30, and, you know, like I said, I like him. Martial is arguably better, but a lot younger, so has, you know, a lot more room for improvement still. But still, I just don't want to sell to rivals anymore. I can't even entertain that thought. Like, we need to put a stop to that. You know, if we really want Martial, go sign him then. You know, it's not like we're not made from money anyway. I know Roman Abramovich recently hasn't really enjoyed spending a lot of money, but especially when we can make 70 million from Willian from, say, Barcelona. Imagine that happens. Just pay the 70 million for Martial, because that's around the fee that Manchester United want for him. So why do we have to sell him to United? Like, I don't see it. Like, I don't want to anyway. I know a lot of people disagree, but I don't want to. That's just my opinion. But also, I have seen a lot of people being furious with Chelsea that we have apparently turned down, you know, that more than £50 million offer for Willian. And I do get where they're coming from, because a lot of people don't really like Willian that much and see it as a huge amount of money, which is true. But, and hear me out here, have you lot forgotten what kind of players we've signed recently? Drinkwater, Barkley, Giroud, Emerson, Zappacosta, and the list goes on. I don't trust our board that if we sell Willian, whether that's for 50 million, 60 million or 70 million, that we're going to get a good enough replacement that's better, or at least his quality but younger in. Like, I don't trust our board to do that. I mean, watch us sign one of the RU brothers to replace Willian just because we can't get any of the top players for as cheap as we'd like to get them for. And then we're just sat here with, you know, yeah, we've made money and might make a profit, but, you know, we have a much worse player. You know, that's what Chelsea do sometimes. You know, I don't trust them not to do that. So I wouldn't sell anyone, and, you know, that includes Willian, before we haven't secured a replacement. Of course, when I then tweeted it yesterday, by the way, follow me on Twitter, it's Last1507, and the link is in the description as well. You know, I massively appreciate that. But people then said to me that the price teams would pay for Willian would obviously go down if we had already signed a replacement, which I suppose makes sense and is most likely to be true. But you can sign someone without making it public, you know. You can secure everything and just not make it public, you know. He can sign that dotted paper, doesn't need to go out to the public. Yes, there's then rumours, but it's not secured and official. You know, have a player sign his deal at Chelsea, then sell Willian, and then make the signature official. I mean, there's always ways. You know, there's always ways. But like I said, I just don't trust the board to, you know, get a good enough replacement if we sell him before getting the replacement in itself. Because after that, we're just, you know, looking for anything, because maybe the deals for replacements don't work out as well as we wanted them to. And then on deadline day, we're just hoping to sign someone, like with Zappacosta last year, for example. I mean, I've said it before, I'd much rather sell Pedro and keep Willian while signing another winger, like, for example, Leon Bailey or Martial. But for that kind of money, it would be understandable why we would sell Willian and keep Pedro. But yeah, that's really that on that story. And yes, we're also still waiting on what's happening with Maurizio Sarri and obviously Antonio Conte as well. I mean, there's so many reports every single day about it, but really, they're just repeating what has been said constantly over the last few weeks already. The same few different versions of the same story keep coming out, as if they weren't news. It's utterly ridiculous, to be honest. But it's not just you that's getting frustrated. And we're all getting frustrated and tired of the whole thing as well. I mean, we need to get a move on here. I mean, the loanies have started pre-season 2 days ago, and the first team players, you know, that are not at the World Cup will start pre-season next Monday on July 9th. So, you know, we need to get a move on here. Like I said, if we get the manager situation sorted before pre-season starts, it's fine. But there's not long left. Like, it's Wednesday now. You know, there's only like 5 days, and it's Wednesday evening almost. So you could say 4 or 5 days left, you know, until pre-season starts. So we really need to get a move on. Like, I'm really interested to see what's going to happen. Is it just going to be Antonio Conte on Monday if, you know, we don't sort this out by Monday? Is he just going to be the one training them at Cobham? Because we don't even have Steve Holland who could just do it instead. because everyone else from the coaching staff is really part of Conte's staff. So if it isn't Conte and his staff doing it, who will do the whole of the training session? I don't know. Like, I hope it all gets sorted by Monday. I really do hope that is the case, but we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, that really is it from me. Leave me all of your thoughts on everything I've mentioned down in the comment section below. Of course, on the Alisson Becker story and the Higuain story, would you want either of them? Would you want both of them? And, you know, for the fees that apparently have been agreed, 73 million euros for Alisson, 60 million euros for Higuain. Do you think that's too much? Do you think that's good value? Put it all down in the comment section below. And of course, about Willian, do you agree with me that we shouldn't sell him or anyone before we haven't lined up replacements? Because, you know, in my opinion, again, I can't really trust the board that much. Or do you think we should just really sell him? You know, just leave me your thoughts on the whole thing down in the comment section below. And like I said in the beginning, let's see whether we can hit 500 likes in this video. We would massively appreciate it, so make sure you drop a like down below. And also, of course, don't forget to check out my social media, which is last1507 on both Instagram and Twitter, as you can see over here. And also the links to both of them are down in the description below. And of course, if you're new, don't forget to subscribe to 100% Chelsea, and also make sure you click the notification bell button and choose to be notified about all uploads, just to make sure that, you know, you're the first to see all of our videos, really. But yeah, that's it from me. Thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea, and I'll see you next time.